It's an election year. We've got the big debate tonight. Concerns are swirling around inflation, and what does that mean for your retirement? Well, we're going to find out here with more on that. Jerry Slusowicz from Pacific Financial Planners. Jerry, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me again, Michael.
So you're going to watch the debate tonight?
Absolutely.
There we go.
Yeah, I think people should.
Now, when we see economic policies being talked about, when we see those kinds of things happening, is that one of the factors that can affect the stock market?
Absolutely. Probably next month, maybe we'll talk about it a little bit more, but it does, if we get a, let's say a blue wave, Harris and Congress blue, you can look at like solar stocks and green energy stocks, and there's a lot of different ways you can go. If you get a Trump victory with some congressional background, you can look at oil drilling companies, Halliburton, those type of things. So it will make some effect on terms of which sectors lead. Overall, not as much because it is, there is some synergy there with the government. But
so what are the things causing the volatility right now? What are the concerns?
The uncertainty, and there's seasonality and the uncertainty of the markets. And we've had a good run. I mean, let's face it, the market's been pretty good since the bottom of the 2022 downturn. But September is usually the worst month of the year. It's in September.
Yeah.
And then October is kind of a scary month. But typically after the election, no matter who wins, you get this 100-day kind of honeymoon, no matter who wins. And so I'm looking for the end of the year to be fine, but between now and then to have some issues still.
And as far as an economy goes, I know there's some gloom and doomers. Oh, it's never been worse, which is kind of silly to say, but the numbers don't reflect that, right? We actually suffered a little less than the rest of the world in terms of inflation, and we're kind of coming back in terms of that a little better than most, right?
Well, the inflation was pretty bad. I mean, prices rose 20%.
Yeah, and that was.
And inflation is a rate, but now the inflation rate means prices are still going up, but they're only going up at around 3%.
Right.
And so you can get U.S. Treasuries around 5%, 100% guaranteed, CDs still around that. So you're getting about a 2% real rate of return after inflation, no risk. So that's unsustainable. We're going to start to see interest rates fall probably, next week.
And so that's going to hurt the bond market, right?
No.
Does that
I
help
got a chart on that.
There we go.
There's a slide.
I always get confused on that.
So when rates go down, it's a direct inverse. Prices go up. So when we had those 20% rising inflation and rising interest rates to the highest levels we've seen in about 23 years, then bond prices went down. And so people who had bond mutual funds were significantly hurt by that. If they held through all that, probably was a mistake, but they're finally getting some relief on that. Where as rates go down, it should help bond prices. But it's going to hurt the CD buyer because they buy the rate.
That's what I get. Those are the ones I get confused.
So as the rate goes down, they're not going to be able to renew their 5% CD or Treasury bill at 5%. It's going to probably settle somewhere around 3.5% next year. Why do I say 3.5? The rate of inflation. It should be about even. But lower interest rates could help the economy to some degree. It should help housing because mortgage rates go down, and people that have their 3%, 3.25% mortgages might be more inclined to sell if they could buy somewhere else without paying 7, 8% on a new mortgage. And it should help the stock market because businesses should be able to refinance or borrow at a cheaper rate than they've been able to borrow for the last 3 years. So I do think that lower interest rates are going to help the economy. And that's one of the good things I see for the market and the economy.
Right.
That it's not as dire as some
kind of firing up some of those industries that were waiting on the sidelines in terms of that, especially real estate.
Real estate, you see utilities. Utility companies are heavily leveraged, heavily borrow money. And you're starting to see the utility sector still do good. So we're seeing some rotation out of tech into utilities. So there's, in my opinion, the economy's slowing. There's no doubt that we're slowing down. But is it going to be a recession? I still am positive and don't think there will be. Doesn't matter who the election wins.
Insurance and annuities, where are those markets at?
Well, pretty simple. Michael, do you have auto insurance?
I do.
Of course, everybody
and
does.
It's really pricey.
Yeah, it is too. You have homeowners insurance?
Absolutely.
Right? You have health insurance?
Absolutely.
How about insurance on your retirement?
No.
Yeah, see, there's ways to insure your retirement. And now, so depending on your age, you're a younger guy, you've got plenty of time, you could work for a number of years.
Thank you.
So you can work it out, the ups and downs of the market. But our viewers, a lot of them are retired, and a lot of them do not want to go back to work. So maybe some of their retirement should have some form of an insurance. And there's things like,
And what does that look like?
well, there's these things called annuities, and immediately
Okay.
people shudder and say, oh, they're bad. They're not bad. Do you know
Okay.
anyone with a pension?
Yes.
Do they like their pension?
Yes.
Very
much.
Everybody's getting a pension. They all like it. That's an annuity. There's
Okay.
ways to get money, protected, safe income streams.
Okay.
And if you don't need the income, you can just have that money reinvested so it's safe growth.
Okay.
But a lot of people just don't know. Annuities aren't right for everybody. There's different flavors, different kinds. Not all of them are good. Variable annuities are the ones where they're talking about high fees. They're
Okay.
correct. But not all annuities are variable. It's a subset, you know,
Okay.
of all annuities. And so there's fixed, there's index. And now when it comes to life insurance, you know, a little different story. Unless you have life insurance and you're a senior, you shouldn't be probably buying life insurance. Again, it's to protect an asset, just like your home, your car, or your life. But, you know, to start buying it as a senior, it's a little too late. Same with insurance to buy long-term care.
Right.
You
right.
know, depends on your health issues.
Yeah.
If you're,
you don't those in this, if you're in your 60s, it's going to be pricey.
yeah, you can buy it up until usually about age 80, but it's going to be more and more pricey.
Right.
And then again, depends on your health. But it's something that people should review because everyone keeps renewing their homeowners or auto insurance without making a claim years and years in a row.
Right.
Just look at it. It's worthwhile because you do have assets to protect.
What should seniors do today? We're talking about annuities and to protect themselves for today.
Well, the number one thing is to get educated on the whole deal, is to understand that you only get one shot at retirement. There's no do-overs. You can't like go through it and then run out of money and go, oh, wait a minute, if I could go back 20 years or 15 years or 10 years, I would just do things differently. So the thing is to do that today. Is what you need to do is make sure that what you're doing on is the path today. So you might have an advisor that you've been with 10 years, 20 years or something that your spouse set up and now they're gone and they knew what they were doing, but you're not sure and so
Right.
you're uncertain. What you've got to do is try to get a second opinion, go to educational classes, try to learn more about it so you can protect yourself because that's really what it is.
Okay, well, Jerry Slusowicz from Pacific Financial Planners, always good advice. Thank you, up-to-date stuff, right to the day, interest rates and all that fun stuff. Thanks for coming in, and you guys can go to Jerry's stuff over at Clubhouse 7, Insurance Awareness Month, and it's over going to be on September 12th, 3 to 5 p.m. on Thursday. Thanks for coming in.
That's that education I'm talking
There's
about.
the
It's
education.
free.
Get out there. Free, good advice from Jerry. Thanks a lot. All right, we're going to take a break with folks from the Theater Guild coming up next. But first, more Clubhouse 2 excitement from the celebration of the 60th anniversary yesterday. Take a look.